So this is the self-development with tactics.
Bock.
So, hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast, and I'm once again here without a video. I don't actually know if I'm just making it way too easy for myself, but I think I am doing that. But I do have to say though that the audio quality is quite fine since, I'm in my bed actually, and there is not a lot of just bounce back of echo and whatnot, or of speech, of voice. And so it is quite a cool thing, but we are, as I think, gonna go through something, I guess, philosophy related. I really heavily assume. But yeah, let's actually have a look whether I can find something on Instagram once again that is philosophy related. Am I following this? No, I'm not. Well, let's actually see. Herodotus. Circumstances rule man, man do not rule circumstances. Well, I wouldn't actually say so, to be honest, because I don't know, like, circumstances in the end can say something, but not quite a lot, to be honest. They're also not that of a big factor when it comes to happiness and how you're feeling. And so I would also consider them not being that of an important factor when it comes to, when it comes to life overall. But yeah, Thales or Thales or whatever. Hope is the only good that is common to all men. Those who have nothing else possess hope still. Well, they can. I don't know if they do, but I think they can. And if they can, and if they're having it, then it is just actually pretty amazing, I gotta have to say. David Hume. The corruption of the best things gives rise to the worst. Well, yeah. Zeno. Well-being is attained little by little, and nevertheless is no little thing itself. Well, it is not. Well-being is a very big thing when it comes to someone feeling good, and when it comes to just quite a lot of things, it is really big. Marcus Tullius Cicero. Let the welfare of the people be the ultimate law. I don't know, like, I gotta have to say that back in the days, I always thought that philosophy and philosophical stuff and also studying philosophy must be one of the, not necessarily dumbest, but most uninteresting and also unnecessary things that you can actually do. But I kind of have a feeling that the older I get, the more interested I am in it, which I don't know, it's quite interesting. It really is, but yeah, we're gonna see what this is gonna lead to. I don't know. Confucius, respect yourself and others will respect you. Which I've read before, I guess. And I'm quite not sure though whether this is actually the case or not. I do think respecting oneself and appreciating oneself and also trying to understand oneself is important and is good and is, I would also say necessary for a healthy and good life. But I wouldn't necessarily say that, well, I don't know, like, it is difficult, but I gotta have to say that sometimes I come to ideas and things that I would have never believed and would have never thought about some, weeks and years ago. And I think it is the same, maybe I'm just not understanding it, as dumb as it may sound, to be honest. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters, by Epictetus. And yes, this is the case. If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable, by Seneca. Yeah, of course, if you don't have a goal, then everything that can be leading you to somewhere is quite unnecessary and is, not really helping you. Let's see if I can find something else. Philosophy fix. Camus verified memes. What about philosophy bits? Jean-Jacques Rousseau. I think I've pronounced that correctly, but I'm actually not quite sure. The bounds of possibility in moral matters are less narrow than we imagine. It is our weaknesses, our vices, and our prejudices or judices that confine them. Hannah Arendt or Hannah Arendt, I don't know. It is in fact far easier to act under conditions of tyranny than it is to think. Well, I'm not gonna judge people, I'm not gonna judge anyone. But maybe, yeah. Nobody, my brain at 3 a.m. got pain, ? You deserve it. Which is a meme, and, I could explain it, but I think it's not making it better. No, it really is not. Philosophical quotes forever. Well, I'm getting cramps in my feet, which is actually quite often the case, I'm not gonna lie. Philosophy official. Philosophy di Lorenzo Serafini, I'm sorry. Interesting account, but anyway. Philosophy coffee, philosophy magazine. What are we finding here? Nothing interesting. Wow. Philosophical genes. I promise I won't discuss the inherent meaninglessness and absurdity of existence. 3 drinks later, and you're doing it. Well, some memes again. Maybe I can find something a bit better, I guess. A place for my thoughts, plus the thoughts of people with so much U9HDGL in the world. It feels liberating to express, to share yours. Send us a DM. Having anxiety and being in a relationship is hard because you always think the worst. Not even them cheating, but worrying if they still want you, and then you want them to be all over them, but then you don't want to be clingy, but you don't want to be distant either, so you just worry. I kind of believe in that. Well, I just not only kind of believe in that, but I really believe that it must be something fucking horrible, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know, work on yourself. Also, just before you get into a relationship. I do really think that, well, it is a hard topic, to be honest, and it is a really difficult one as well. But I do think that, having somebody might be making your life a bit better, but I wouldn't necessarily say that it is making it entirely good, from just one moment to the other, just because you're having another person in life. There is a lot of benefits to being, a single and being alone and being the master of yourself, quite. But of course, there's also a lot of benefits of not being alone and having a relationship or being in a relationship. And I'm actually quite fortunate to know both, and also know both very recently. But yeah, I can understand it. I really can, It's not about the kissing, holding hands, the dates, the sex. It is about being with someone who makes you happy in a way that no one else can. It is about being with someone who accepts you and your weirdness. It is about being yourself around them, and they can be their self around you, which, I gotta have to say is one of the most important things. Like, being able to be yourself and being able to really also express yourself and, like, fully, who you are, what you're about, what is important for you, and all of these things. Like, it is really important. It really is. Yeah, it really fucking is. Because why would you like to be somebody or with somebody that wants you to be somebody else? Only in America would TikTok be banned before semi-automatic rifles. Well, I'm not gonna say anything about that, I'm not gonna talk about fucking politics. Yeah, if we date, you never have to worry about me cheating on you. I might eat something that was yours, but that's about it. Well, is there actually also something else, besides love-related things? Well, once again, the I before miss you and love you is important, okay? Yeah, because it indicates, whom it's about. One of the best feelings in the world is when you're hugging a person you love and they hug you back even tighter. Yeah, definitely. Hugging is amazing. Hugging is a cool thing, but I haven't been hugging somebody for quite some while, I gotta have to say that. Very interesting thoughts. If we're dating, please send me daily selfies. Please don't sleep angry at me. Never be afraid to ask questions. Trust me. Communicate your feelings daily and clearly. Don't ever hesitate to tell me if you feel uncomfortable with who I'm with and where I'm going. Well, I do think that in a relationship it is incredibly important to actually clearly communicate and sometimes also over communicate things in a sense of, okay, I'm doing this and that and these and those, and I'll let you know that I'm doing this and that and these and those. And I don't know, of course, maybe some people might be like, well, I just don't want to say that in a way of not being too transparent, not giving away all your privacy, kind of, in a sense. I really hope that you can understand me. But on the other hand, I feel like, well, why should it be having so many, well, it's not priorities, but reasons for one not being able to be dating you quite, if, he or she is not sending you daily selfies, for example, which, might just be all about you and your problems and your problem with trusting others quite, on one hand. On the other hand, yeah, just communicate a bit more clearly. Just do that, It's not easy. It really is not. Communication and communicating is such an incredibly difficult act that, it's just understandable, and it is always going to be the case that there is problems with it and there is miscommunications and whatnot. But something else that I do also find very important when it comes to relationships is saying it when there's something wrong and when there's something bothering you, and really saying it in the moment when you're noticing it. Because being like, well, I'm just gonna say it someone else, or I don't want to be negative or whatnot, it's in the end just gonna lead to more drama. It's gonna lead to a bigger explosion. It's gonna lead to more bad, quite, But if you're saying it fastly, in terms of, okay, it's happening at this moment, so I'm gonna talk about it in this moment, then there is a way to get rid of it right ahead, and to not drag it along with you into the relationship further on. Because in the end, you might be using it as a weapon, against your partner. And on the other hand, it is just going to create tension, probably, in the long term. If it is subconsciously or consciously, doesn't really matter that much, but it is creating some tension. Let's actually have a look how long I've been. 14 minutes. And let's have a look at one last thing. Let's see. Morgan Freeman. We should have a holiday called Space Day where all lights around the world are shut off for the whole night to reduce light pollution so we can see the galaxy. I would appreciate that. I would, I'd like to have that. By 30, if I'm not engaged or already starting with family, then I declare myself the aunt who's always traveling and comes to family events tipsy. I don't know, yeah, it can happen, but it couldn't. fast replies are so attractive like them. I got your attention like that. Well, I don't think so, actually. When it comes to, I don't know, like, I can really understand if people don't reply instantly. Like, yeah, I know that you have something to do, and yeah, maybe just texting me isn't the best thing for you to do right now. Like, I can understand it. I don't bother to be angry because of that, quite. But yeah. So this is going to be the end of the video, and this is going to be the end of the, audio and of the podcast. So I wish you the best health, happiness, and also success. And I also hope that you're going to remind yourself and you're going to be remembered, which basically means your legacy, and basically means just being a nice person and then being remembered as a nice person, which is a pretty fucking cool thing. 3 other questions that I'm having you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change, and what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, which is a pretty fucking cool thing. And yeah. One last thing that I'm having you is, what could you essentially say to another person that's indeed going to change their life? Because I totally believe that we all can say something, to make somebody's life and day and a week and month way better. And with that being said, bye-bye. Have a nice day. Take care of yourself, your family members, all your loved ones, and your friends.